Today we are taking a look at Frieren and Übel from Frieren Beyond Journey's End. These are the roomwear figures in the Yumemirize line by SEGA. Frieren Beyond Journey's End is a fantasy series that follows an elven mage after the completion of a long adventure, with its story focusing on time, memory, and the people she comes to understand. Frieren is the central mage of the story, while Übel is another talented mage whose detached and unpredictable nature gives her a distinct presence. Today's highlights for these figures are the roomwear appearances of both characters. Frieren relaxing on her stomach with a pillow, and Übel's rarely seen relaxed expression. The first highlight is the roomwear appearance of both characters. Frieren combines a pale cream top and white shorts with a blue-green blanket, while Übel wears a white top with black straps, deep green shorts, and a green blanket. Frieren's rounded trim around the waist and Übel's black straps across the chest give their outfits clearly different layouts. At the same time, the blankets and relaxed indoor theme connect the two figures as a matching pair. The second highlight is Frieren lying on her stomach while relaxing. She holds a white pillow between her overlapping forearms and rests her chin directly on its upper surface. Her long twin tails fall around the pillow and arms, while the blanket spreads across her shoulders and back. Her knees are bent behind her, with both feet raised upward, extending the relaxed pose from the pillow all the way to the tips of her toes. The third highlight is Übel's rarely seen relaxed expression. Her lowered eyelids, restrained smile, and hand raised close to her chin create a calm and gentle facial presentation. Her side ponytail falls beside the shoulder, while the blanket spreads behind her upper body. The cross-legged sitting position continues the same relaxed feeling through the lower body and completes the quiet roomwear presentation. This channel brings you figure reviews and anime merchandise updates straight from Japan. If you enjoyed this kind of content, don't forget to subscribe. Frieren rests her chin directly on the white pillow and looks forward with blue-green eyes. A yellow ring sits near the center of each eye, surrounded by the blue-green iris and a darker outer border. Long lashes extend from the outer edges of the upper eyelids, while finer lines define the lower edges. Her eyebrows form gentle curves, and her narrow closed mouth rises slightly at both ends. Because her chin touches the pillow, the rounded line from the cheeks to the mouth stays close to its upper surface. Her long pointed ears extend outward from both sides of the head. Near the lower area of each ear, a gold attachment supports a red earring. The earrings remain separate from the surrounding hair and stay visible beside the side strands. The pale lavender bangs divide into several locks moving from the crown toward the forehead. A longer central section reaches toward the space between the eyebrows, while the outer strands frame the cheeks and narrow toward inward-turning tips. Behind the head, the hair is gathered into two long twin tails. Each section moves outward from its tied point, then falls forward beside the shoulders. Long grooves divide the larger masses into separate locks, and the thick shapes split into narrower tips near the ends. The twin tails continue down beside the pillow and arms. Übel's purple eyes are partly open, with the upper eyelids lowered to create a quiet and relaxed gaze. The color shifts from darker purple near the upper area to lighter purple below, with a small black pupil in the center. Her thin eyebrows follow the angle of the eyes in gentle curves beneath the bangs. Her mouth is formed by a fine closed line, with both ends lifted slightly into a restrained smile. The cheeks narrow smoothly toward the chin, while the raised hand remains close to the lower part of the face. A small gap stays between the fingertips and the chin, keeping the gesture separate from the expression. Her green hair spreads from the crown into broad sections covering much of the forehead. A longer central strand passes between the eyebrows and reaches toward the upper part of the nose. The surrounding locks frame the eyes and upper cheeks, while shorter strands along the outer edge curve inward before ending in narrow tips. The side ponytail is gathered on the outer side of the head and falls beside the shoulder. It begins as a thick section beneath the tied area and gradually narrows toward the end. Vertical grooves divide the surface into several locks, with the outer strands drawing inward toward the lower tip. Together with the broad bangs, it forms a close frame around Übel's calm expression. Frieren lies on her stomach while holding a white pillow close to her chest and resting her chin on its upper surface. The pillow fills the area beneath her face and extends toward the front of the torso. Gentle horizontal rises and depressions run across its surface between the chin, chest, and arms. Both forearms overlap across the front of the pillow, holding it inside the space created by the arms. One hand rests over the opposite forearm, with the fingers kept close together along the outer line of the arm. The other hand appears beneath the overlapping forearms, with its fingers slightly bent near the front of the pillow. This clearly shows that she is holding the pillow against her chest. A blue-green blanket is draped across the shoulders and continues over the back. It wraps around the outer area of the torso and reaches close to the arms near the front. Fine lines cover the surface, while thicker bands run vertically between them in repeating waves. Near the shoulder, the blanket follows the rounded shape of the body, and the outer edge forms a small fold near the arm. The long twin tails pass over the blanket and fall forward around the upper body. Some locks extend beside the pillow, while others overlap the outer edges of the arms. Their ends divide into several narrow tips, creating layers around the face, pillow, and forearms. Below the blanket, the lower edge of Frieren's pale cream top appears around the waist. A repeated row of diamond-shaped outlines runs horizontally across this section, with narrow lines enclosing the row above and below. Beneath the diamonds, a rounded scalloped edge overlaps the upper area of the white shorts. Each rounded section projects slightly outward and continues around the curve of the waist. The white shorts extend from beneath the pale cream hem to the upper thighs. Their leg openings are finished with smaller wave-shaped edges that project outward from the main white surface. These raised borders circle the thighs and clearly separate the shorts from the legs. Both knees are bent deeply behind the body, lifting the lower legs and feet upward. The legs overlap near the ankles, with one placed slightly in front of the other. Both soles face toward the rear, and the line from each heel narrows gradually toward the toes. The toes are divided individually at the ends of the feet. The low position of the upper body contrasts with the raised lower legs. From the chin resting on the pillow, the body line continues through the torso and waist before turning upward through the bent knees. The raised feet complete this curve above the rear of the figure. Übel keeps her torso upright and bends one arm so that her hand is raised close to her chin. The arm angles inward from the elbow toward the center of the body. Her fingers are individually bent, with the finger closest to the face extending slightly higher while the others curve inward toward the palm. A small gap remains between the fingertips and the mouth, allowing the gesture to sit near the expression without covering it. A black choker circles the neck and connects at the front to a gold ring above the chest. 3 black straps extend from this ring. One runs vertically down the center, while 2 open diagonally toward the outer areas of the upper body. Triangular spaces remain between the central strap and the diagonal straps before they connect to the upper edge of the white top. A black border follows the upper edge of the top. Another black line continues from the chest through the center of the abdomen toward the lower hem. Shallow horizontal folds appear around the midsection, and the central line follows the changing surface with a slight curve. A separate black band circles the upper arm, leaving visible areas above and below it. The green blanket is draped from the back across the outer side of the shoulder. It stays open across the front and spreads behind the torso. Fine lines cover the surface, while thicker bands repeat horizontally before the blanket continues toward the waist. Übel sits with both knees opened outward and her legs folded into a cross-legged position in front of the body. One shin passes diagonally across the foreground, while the other leg is folded behind it. The front leg extends from the knee toward the ankle in a long curve, and its ankle overlaps the leg positioned farther back. The foot of the rear leg extends outward from beneath the front shin. Because the legs are folded in different directions, the 2 feet point toward separate outer areas. Each foot narrows gradually from the ankle across the upper surface and into the toes. The toes are divided individually and continue the gentle curves at the ends of the legs. Deep green shorts cover the waist and upper thighs. A vertical division line runs through the center, while diagonal boundaries extend from the waist toward the upper areas of the legs. These lines divide the front of the shorts into separate sections. A narrow black border follows each leg opening and separates the green shorts from the thighs. Beneath these borders, separate black bands circle both thighs. A small area of each leg remains visible between the edge of the shorts and the band, showing that the bands are independent pieces. The green blanket spreads outward from behind the waist. Its lower edge forms a broad curve around the rear of the seated figure, while the patterned surface continues down from the upper body. This wide section frames the cross-legged position from behind. Frieren is approximately 8 centimeters tall. That's about 3.1 inches. Übel is approximately 11 centimeters tall. That's about 4.3 inches. For size comparison, here's a 350 milliliter can. That's about 12 ounces in the US. Overall, Frieren and Übel by SEGA stand out because these figures combine two different relaxed expressions, roomwear outfits, blankets, and contrasting poses that guide the eye naturally across the pair. Frieren's face leaves a gentle impression. Her blue-green eyes contain yellow rings, her narrow mouth forms a small closed smile, and her chin rests directly on the white pillow. The pointed ears and red earrings remain clearly visible beside the face. Übel's lowered purple eyes, slightly raised mouth, and hand held close to her chin create a quieter and more relaxed expression. The hairstyles strengthen those different presentations. Frieren's pale lavender bangs frame the forehead and cheeks, while the long twin tails pass beside the shoulders and continue around the pillow and forearms. The separate strands spread into narrow tips and extend the flow of the prone pose around the upper body. Übel's broad green bangs cover much of the forehead, and the longer central strand drops between the eyes. Her side ponytail falls beside the shoulder in a thicker section, keeping the hair close to the head and upper body. The upper bodies work well because the outfit layouts and poses support each other closely. Frieren lies on her stomach while holding the white pillow between her overlapping forearms. The blue-green blanket covers the shoulders and back, and the fine lines and thicker vertical bands continue around the outer side of the body. Her twin tails pass over the blanket and overlap the pillow and arms, connecting the head directly to the rest of the pose. Übel sits upright with one hand raised close to her chin. Her black choker connects to 3 chest straps through a gold ring, while the white top is divided by black borders and a central vertical line. The separate upper armband adds another dark section, and the green blanket curves around the shoulder before spreading across the back. The lower bodies complete the contrast between the two figures. Frieren's pale cream top ends in diamond-shaped outlines and rounded scalloped sections above the white shorts. Her knees bend deeply behind her, lifting both feet upward and carrying the line of the body from the low upper torso toward the raised toes. Übel's deep green shorts are divided by central and diagonal lines, with separate black bands positioned below the leg openings. Her knees open outward as the legs fold into a cross-legged position, while the broad curve of the blanket frames the seated pose from behind. What makes the pair especially effective is the way the two poses remain different while sharing the same roomwear theme. The eye can move from Frieren's face through the pillow, overlapping arms and raised feet, then across to Übel's raised hand, chest straps, and folded legs without feeling disconnected. Because of that, fans of Frieren, Beyond Journey's End, Frieren, or Übel will likely enjoy these figures very much. Collectors who like relaxed expressions, roomwear outfit arrangements, and contrasting poses that work as a coordinated pair should find them a very satisfying addition. That's it for this video. If there's any part of the figure you liked, feel free to leave a comment and share your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.